Salute! More and more interested and curious people come to the conclusion that deserts on our planet are not that they seem, and more it is becoming evident that our planet has faced a great catastrophe recently. The scientists' fables about occupation layer are no more impressive for anyone except the bullheaded, who are trying to prove that you and I, have just turned it into trash. They see neither backfield floors, nor the difference between clay and defecation, nor the fact that people can defecate that much. Well, they can, but not on this scale. So, if you support the idea that horse droppings are going to turn into clay in 100 years, stop watching this video. And who is open to new discoveries and can be surprised is invited to continue watching, and certainly to the following discussion. If you wonder where all this sand and clay on Earth come from, the common sense will reply you immediately that it is so due to sedimentary rocks that have occurred through the weathering of rocks over millions of years. The sand was washed in by rivers. However, this explain can hardly satisfy anymore. More and more cities full of clay are constantly found. And the sand in some area of Sahara reaches the point of 800 meters. Where is this river that has washed in such a heap? That's why. Let's begin with the popular theories. Someone claims that something has fallen on Earth, for example 3D a comet. Someone tends to think that the desert sand is sawdust. There are some more unique theories. Nonetheless, we can understand these authors. How not to let the imagination run wild when the scientists ignore the problem? The fact is, the holy place is never empty. The sand appeared somehow in large numbers, didn't it? The atmosphere lost its density. Water collapsed on the Earth, and tons of clay and sand came from somewhere all over the Earth. The strange tilt of the Earth's axis of rotation, after all. It is impossible to escape these facts, unless you have magic rose-colored glasses. So, where did it all come from? Let's take the version of a falling celestial body as our starting point in the investigation, without any reasons. That's the version I like best, and if so, it would be a good idea to get a pen and calculate. Let's start with the amount of sand in the deserts. What? They haven't thought of that yet? Have they? Alright, let us be the pioneers. Easy way. Look up Wikipedia and write down the areas of the biggest deserts. Of course, different sources give different figures in terms of area, but so far we don't need absolute precision. Anyway, we will take the average number, just because our intention is to have a general idea of the problem. So here's a list of deserts with areas. But here comes dead end. Each desert has its own terrain. Somewhere there is a lot of sand. Somewhere there is none of it. What to do? I haven't found any information on the thickness of the sand layer on the internet. Or maybe I didn't search properly. I'm not taking Antarctica into account for obvious reasons. I think it would be most correct thing to take the Sahara Desert as a base, because it covers half of total area of the world deserts. Besides, its dunes reach a height of 800 meters above sea level sometimes, and even much less. Anyway, if I take the average thickness of sand across the world's deserts, let's say 12 meters, I wouldn't exactly be exceeding the real thickness of the sand, and I'd probably be underestimating it very much. The total area of deserts except Antarctica, 21,894,000 square kilometers, or this many square meters. If the layer is 12 meters thick, the volume of occupied sand will be this many cubic meters. Using this complex formula, we calculate diameter of the sphere that is able to contain this amount of sand. So we get the diameter of the asteroid we are looking for is 79 kilometers. Once again, 79 kilometers in diameter by minimum calculations. Now this isn't a joke anymore. The asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was about 10 kilometers in diameter, and here 8 times its diameter. Then let's get serious about this version. Could it be a comet or not? Fact number 1. The size of comets. Halley's Comet is considered as the largest comet in the solar system now, but it's shaped like a very elongated egg with a length of about 15 kilometers and a width of about 7 or 8 kilometers. So it's not just smaller than our search body, but smaller by almost 10 times. Astronomers generally allow comets to be no larger than 40 kilometers in diameter, and our object is just a monster of some kind. Fact number 2. A comet consists, according to its definition, of 80% of gases and vapors, including of water. Therefore, approaching the Sun, it begins to vaporize actively, consequently creating the famous comet's tail, a coma consisting of the same gases. The only exception is the comet's nucleus, which is composed of denser material. But it is tiny compared to the comet itself, so there is no way a comet could produce so much silica dust and sand then it hits the Earth. There are simply no traces of them there. Fact number 3. 3D BLS comet, which is being blamed, is belonged to short period comets. It's a very short period comet. That means it orbited the Sun for 6.5 years. So it was very active, and the closer it came to the Sun, the more it melted like a snowball, and eventually it fell apart. This happened in the second half of the 19th century, as reported by astronomers. Meanwhile, one of the alleged parts still exists. I hope that these arguments are enough to understand that the object that caused the catastrophe is no way could be neither BLS comet nor a comet in general. It was a much bigger object. Once again, if we hit a dead end, if it wasn't a comet, what was it then? But have we considered everything? We only counted the sands of known deserts, and our catastrophic mate was not so particular. The deposits of clay all over the Earth prove this. You can meet them in every city, town, country, continent, and sandy deserts are in fact far more numerous. Everyone knows that underneath the coniferous trees, the northern forests, the Russian and Canadian dense forests, and the Siberian taiga, the same sandy deserts lurk. Right under the trees, for sure. All this could have brought a gigantic tsunami, but then the question is, from where? If the entire, I emphasize, the entire of the Earth's surface is covered in it? Some alternative studies clearly show that the masses of clay and sand did come from above, and then they flowed evenly into the nearby lowlands and rivers. This means that we have to count the volume not only of deserts, but of the entire globe. And not only the continents, but also the bottoms of the oceans, that is the area of the Earth's entire surface. Well, it's easy enough, we can do it. We've already learned how. The area of the Earth, 510 million, 72,000 square kilometers. That is this many square meters. 510 trillion, 72 billion. Let's calculate the depth of the ground cover to be even lower than in previous calculation. Suppose 8 meters. That means that the sand and clay mixture will be this many cubic meters. 4 quadrillion, 80 trillion, 576 billion. The radius of such a sphere would be 99,131 meters, or in other words, 198 kilometers, 262 meters in diameter. That is like a pebble of the size from Moscow to Rязань. The distance is bigger than Moscow to Tver. It's bigger than Moscow to Tula. It's bigger than the island of Sardinia. It's exactly half the size of the Iceland. How you estimate that size? Don't forget about the fact that we minimized the depth. After such calculations, there is a great desire to stand up and go away. You know, it's too fantastical. They scare us with asteroids from 100 to 200 meters in diameter. They say that it will bring everyone harm, that the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs was only 10 kilometers in diameter. And here we have 200 kilometers in diameter. 200s! At the very minimum estimate, the entire planet would be blown to smithereens, wouldn't it? Well, the part 1 has come to an end. More to come.